Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm joined here tonight in the studio by Mr. Karim Ali, the travel and tourism expert. Mr. Ali, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here.
Mr. Ali, first of all, now the CNN has listed Egypt among the 21 destinations, the places to go to for the year 2021. Now, the tourism sector all over the world has been hampered seriously since late 2019 and because of the coronavirus pandemic and still up until now. What are the main reasons for having Egypt that high on the list, actually among the top 5 of that list? Why is the CNN actually rating Egypt that high?
First, let me tell you that there are a lot of reasons to go for this, to be the number 5 on the list. Actually, if you are going to say how we reacted with the COVID-19 issue virus and how Egypt resisted to this and how the numbers are still low, comparing to Europe, comparing the US, comparing to all the other countries, definitely Egypt did a very good job on this. The second and third and fourth is the new excavation that you are doing now in Saqqara, the new museum that you are doing everywhere in Sharm, in Hurghada, in Cairo. You have the civilization, you have the gem. Especially what you are doing now at the pyramids area. The new entrance will be from the other road, from the Fayoum road. We have a huge complex that we will be the main entrance of the pyramids itself, where we have a cinema that will show the history of Egypt. We will not queue for tickets like before. Clients will not use their private vehicles or the buses, the tourist buses. They will use electric buses, especially that will operate in the area. You will have a lot of 3 or 4 buildings where you can have lunch, you can have a nice meal, a coffee or breakfast even. And last to say that we have all seen the pictures of the minister when he was at the pyramids, having the coffee or tea with the beautiful panoramic view of the pyramid at the new restaurant there, which is called the 9 Pyramids. So all this definitely have to list Egypt as number 5. Needless to say that our roads now, the traffic is becoming much, much better. Before you used to reach the hotels from the airport more than 1 hour. Now, maximum 30 minutes, you are at your hotel in downtown. So all those facilities, definitely people are watching, and we are very well marketing ourselves. The ministry is doing a very good job, either the tourism or the antiquities, to show what they have discovered, to give the people, even local or international, they have to tell them what we are doing for you, to welcome the tourists back in Egypt. And we all know that Egypt will never stop receiving tourists because of our history and civilization.
Yes. Well, before we start talking about our main attractions and what the Ministry of Antiquities and Civil Aviation actually have been doing, being on that list by the CNN, do you feel that it's going to have an actual effect on the ground? Do people watch? Do the travel agencies, different governments, are they watching? Are they monitoring different lists? And then they're saying, well, if it's on the CNN list, well, maybe we should reconsider or maybe have a much more of extensive program visiting Egypt.
Look, I can tell you that being listed as number 5 or from the top 21, we will receive tourists today. I cannot say this because we all know why tourists are not here, not for security reasons, not for political reasons, nothing. We are safe, we are very well now supported in Egypt, we are very well controlled. The issue is the COVID, is the pandemic issue. People will not travel as far as they know that they didn't get vaccinated. If they will get the vaccine and people will feel safe traveling, they will definitely, Egypt will be a priority destination because it was listed during the COVID issue. So what else, what will happen if it's not now, no COVID? So people will definitely start by pushing this destination. And all clients, especially for travel agents now, it's one of the roles to start marketing on their social media. Same as the ministry is doing, start to push the tourists to remember Egypt, not to forget them ever. So this is the way how we will bring them back to Egypt, with big good numbers.
Yes. Mr. Ali, now Egypt has a lot of options. It has the beach tourism, it has the cultural tourism, as you pointed out. It has the medical one, the religious one. So Egypt has many options and many different kinds of tourism to offer. What would be the strongest card nowadays for Egypt? You've mentioned, because we seem to have a lot of historical discoveries, the antiquities, the tombs, the coffins, the Grand Egyptian Museum, as you've mentioned, the renovation work that's being done, that's been done at the pyramids and the Sphinx. Also, many museums are being opened in Sharm, in Gharda, in different places, in the North Coast, the Red Sea. But what would be the strongest one? Is it still the beach sort of tourism, or the cultural tourism now?
I would say definitely when tourism comes back to Egypt, starts with the culture. And then there are few destinations, they only come to Egypt specially, they come every year, even repeatable clients, they come to the beaches because we have the beautiful sand, the beautiful water, the ski, the diving, snorkeling. They miss this in their countries. So this is why they especially come, those specialists for snorkeling or diving or enjoying the beach activities, they especially come to Sharm and Hurghada, and soon they will be there on the North Coast. Cultural is something, definitely we know that since you are a kid in a foreign country, in Europe or in the US, you are studying the history of Egypt. So it's a dream for them to come to Egypt. And this will be definitely number one, start the culture between Cairo, Luxor, Aswan, and extension to Hurghada or to Sharm. But definitely Luxor, Aswan will receive, and Cairo will receive a huge number of guests as soon as it will start again.
Yes. Well, the tourism sector is a really strong indication of what's happening in Egypt. So when the revolutions took place in 2011 and 2013, the tourism was actually more or less in a standstill, and during COVID, like many travel agencies, many companies went out of business. Millions actually lost their jobs or closed their tourism business. But now the Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities and the government has been doing a lot of work to recreate and get the people back into the business. Are people going back into the business, or is it now with the change of the times, the business is looking a little bit different? It doesn't it could just be done online, for instance. A lot of travel personnel and tour guides and travel agencies and companies are doing all their business online. Are people that active as they used to be decades ago within the tourism sector?
Look, honestly, we have to be active. It's not a choice. If we do still want to continue the business as a travel agency or a tour guide, he has his own freelance. Definitely he has to push the clients to come back. Definitely we have to do our job. Yes, we lost some people. They left the companies, they left the hotels. They don't work again as a tour guides because there is no income so far. So as far as they find another solution to bring the income, they are getting a solution now. But definitely when it comes back, they will come back. Because tourism is not something, when you work on the tourism, I work on the tourism field since 1990. So I've been in the company and I'm working hard, and I see the clients, how they want to come to Egypt. And when they come to Egypt, their eyes, when they see the pyramids, how shocked they are, how impressive it is for them. So definitely they will come back by huge numbers. And not only this, what I would like to mention to you is that tourists, when they come to Egypt, they have a lot of things to do, not only to visit the culture, as we have mentioned, culture. Some people, they come for the health tourism. Some people, they come for the PCO, for conferences. Others, they come for the incentive travel. So Egypt is rich with different type of services in the travel business, not only the culture or the beach. So this is why we will welcome a lot of tourists during the next few years, as far as COVID will start again.
Well, you've been in that business, you've been in that field for 30 years, or even more. So you've seen how the dynamics of the tourists, the customers are changing, and the industry as well, the sector as well, is changing. What would you say are the main differences? Because Egypt has gone through many difficulties and many sort of ups and downs during those 30 years. What would you say now are the main sort of differences and the adaptation of the sector for the current times?
Honestly speaking, this pandemic, I've never seen something like this before. When we had a lot of issues in the past, since 1997, you remember Luxor and all those incidents, it restarts after 6 months, 7 months, it comes back before a year. But this time, because it's something internationally, it's not only in Egypt, it's worldwide. So we cannot do anything about it. All what we have to do is we do our work, do our social media properly, continue our work, not to stop. This is what we are doing. The pyramid is changing. The museum, the gem is opening soon. We are upgrading the Egyptian museum. We are doing the Museum of Civilization in Fustat. A lot of things. And we are doing things that we didn't do in the last 20 years. And it's happening in 3-4 years. This is amazing. Even clients, they will want to come back again. If he visited Egypt before, he wants to come and see the new gem. He wants to come and see what happened at the pyramid area. So honestly, the government is doing a job. It has not been done since the last 2 decades. And I'm telling to all my colleagues and all my tour guides, all my friends in the business, I'll tell them, we are suffering now, but trust me, as soon as it's come back, it will be booming. We will not be able to cope with the number of tourists coming.
Well, there are so many figures and speculations by the governments, different governments around the world. They're saying, well, the tourism sector will get back to its previous numbers by February or March of this year, which is next month and the month after, and we're still in the second wave of coronavirus. Is that feasible, or do you expect it to take a little bit longer, maybe during the summer months? When do you expect Egypt to get back to the previous number, especially that our competition now around the world is not as strong?
No one on earth can tell you exactly when it will come back. Because, again, if the world is vaccinated, it will come back immediately, okay? But the issue is that, yes, we will have business during summer at the resorts. We will have few good numbers that will come to take the... We had some clients on the New Year and Christmas, this Christmas and New Year. We had some clients, not numbers, I'm talking individuals, but they were there. So it's non-stop. February, honestly, I doubt. We have to be fair. But I think during May till August, we will have a good number of tourists at the resorts area, plus some visitors for an overday or an overnight coming from those resort area. Having the travel and tourism back to Egypt as before, I guess not before October, November, if things goes well. Not before October, November, we reach 70 to 80% from the old numbers.
Yes.
I'm not talking numbers before 2011, I'm talking numbers the last 2-3 years.
Yes. Well, Mr. Ali, do you feel that obviously the pandemic hit the whole world, the global economy and the tourism sectors, of course, but do you think that with Egypt actually making a progress and a growth in its own GDP and the tourism sector and how we are coping with the pandemic, do you feel that it actually puts us in a better position against our competitors, compared to our competitors?
I didn't say that. The CNN mentioned this. We are number 5, and you said this right now. So all what's happening now in Egypt, they put us already on number 5. What do you think if things went well and back again to normal, where we will be? I would say from the first 3. Because now you want to travel to, and if you're doing an outgoing trip to France, to Italy, to Germany, you will stay at home, you will stay at the hotel. You will not move for 14 days. But here, if you want to come to Egypt, come to Egypt. If you have the PCR negative, feel free, enjoy the country. So this is putting us for number 5. If this is cancelled, we'll be number 1, I would say that, or from the top 3. Definitely.
Mr. Ali, you've mentioned the fact that there's a lot of work being done for within the infrastructure, the roads, the transportation, the renovations, the inaugurations, the much anticipated inauguration of the Grand Egyptian Museum. Also, many museums are being opened and inaugurated around the country. Do you feel that there also needs to be more work and services on the infrastructure for the tourism sector in terms of working on the transportation themselves, working about the facilitation, working about the different kinds of tourism, be it a beach tourism or maybe a religious tourism, the touristic places, the medical tourism as well? Do you feel that there still more needs to be done in terms of the actual hard work, the labor for the tourism sector?
There are a lot of things to do. I don't know the plan. I'm not in this part, but if they started by doing all this, definitely transportation in the plan, traffic in the plan, all the other type of individuals selling goods, the touristic areas is in the plan. If we are working in the right track now, I expect that by maybe few months or as soon as the travel business will come back, this will be changed. And I know from some friends working in the same field, they are telling me that no, it's changing. We are renovating all the pyramids area. I went to see the place myself. I see now that even the horse renting and camels are in order. They are not like before. So yes, it's becoming better and better. We cannot do everything once. We have of course there is a budget from where we're going to bring if there is no tourists, but we are using our budget so far properly, and I would confirm this properly. And I assume that within maximum before that it starts back again, I would say that definitely a lot of things will change, like transportation. Now you have the underground going to the airport. I believe that we are doing a special VIP buses for the public and for the tourists that will go to the pyramid, the citadel, all the touristic areas. This is something that we were dreaming about a few years ago, since I started the business, but now it's becoming act. It's there. It's about time that the travel business comes back, because we are ready. From now we are ready. Even if there will just few months and we open the gem, we have the Fustat done already, the Civilization Museum, just moving the pharaohs from the museum to the Fustat. It will be a scene. We are all expecting to see this. Same what happened during the New Year. That was beautifully done for the social media. The bridge with the fireworks. Yes. I lived in Dubai for a few years. I would say that, I don't want to say equal, I would say it's better than the one in Dubai.
Yes.
It was long, it was beautifully done, and we used an iconic thing that will be future icon for Egypt, this bridge, the first in the world. So no, I guess it's a very good job. We are in the travel field very happy of what's happening now, because this will encourage us not to stop doing any kind of social media. It's encouraging us. They give us the information for the social media. If we didn't have all those things, what we're going to post on the social media? Our pictures? No way.
Yes.
We have to post what's happening in the country. And this is really what's going on so far.
Well, one of the most anticipated events would be the inauguration of the Grand Egyptian Museum. It's spectacular, and it's not even done yet, but it should be happening anytime soon now. How much is the world informed about this inauguration? Because a lot of people are dubbing it as it could resemble the inauguration of the Suez Canal during the Khedive, the days of the Khedive, when it was first established and inaugurated. Is the international community, the different countries around the world, the tourism sectors around the world, informed well enough about this Grand Egyptian Museum?
Look, before the COVID, last year, 2019, late 2019 and mid 2019, I personally attended a lot of events in Frankfurt and in Barcelona, which is one of the main events of travel trade. No one I met not asking about the gem. People are waiting for the gem. Okay, the issue now, we have to choose the right date. If I can open tomorrow, I think I don't have to open tomorrow. I have to wait a little bit when things are much better.
Yes.
So the delay came to our benefit, not against us. I don't want to say delay, but what happened delayed us a little bit and make us really sort at the end something very good. The time when we have now the time to think better, how we can do the opening, who we're going to invite, where it will be inaugurated in the area, in the garden, near the pyramids. We have to have all the spectacular of this in front of us, not only the museum. We have to show all these beautiful things.
Yes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as Mr. Ali mentioned, there is a lot of work that still needs to be done, especially also on the marketing level and using the social media. And one of the main initiatives has kicked off in Egypt, Spend Your Winter in Egypt. The initiative kicked off to encourage the winter tourism in Egypt. Let's check out this report and we'll be right back.
In an effort to increase tourism, the ministry has launched a Go Local Winter Break campaign in an effort to encourage Egyptians to enjoy their winter break in Egypt, offering discounts on flights and hotel rooms. Minister of Tourism and Antiquities Khalid Al-Anani, accompanied by Mohammed Mukhtar Gum'a, the Minister of Religious Endowments, and Aswan Governor Ashrafati, launched a Spend Winter in Egypt initiative in Aswan. The minister said that the initiative is part of the government's plan to support the tourism sector and the workers of small and medium-sized enterprises which were negatively affected by the COVID-19 crisis and the weak tourism flow to Egypt. He referred to decreasing the fees of releasing license of bazaars by 50%, pointing out to the initiative and its importance for backing tourism and supporting the business. Themed Spend Winter in Egypt, the initiative went into effect on 15th of January and will last until the 28th of February. A number of measures were taken by the ministry in light of the initiative, such as offering discounts on domestic flight tickets to Luxor, Taba, Hurghada, Marsa Alam, flights from Cairo and Alexandria to Luxor, including the tax, which will cost around £1,500, and to Aswan £1,800 Egyptian pounds, while flights from Cairo to Alexandria, to Sharm el-Sheikh, Hurghada and Taba will cost £1,800 and Marsa Alam £2,000. The measures also including offering discounts on the prices of hotels and the tickets of the tourist sites in Qina, Aswan and Luxor. Meanwhile, the Minister Al-Alani inspected the latest projects in the city such as the local market, Nal Bazaar and Al-Mahatta Square. The minister also visited a number of bazaars and listened to their owners' problems and challenges that they are facing, such as the new closing dates. The Egyptian Hotel Association has announced the names of the hotels participating in the initiative, as well as the discounts they offer. These hotels shall operate at a 50% capacity in accordance to the Health Ministry safety requirements issued to curtail the spread of the coronavirus pandemic. All precautionary measures should also be applied to airports, museums, touristic sites, restaurants, hotels and buses.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, continuing our discussion with Mr. Ali. Now, Egypt is well known to be a touristic destination all year round because it's winter and more or less you can actually walk out in the streets in a demi-saison sort of outfit or maybe in t-shirts, maybe not today but usually on most days. And a lot of people, a lot of experts are saying, well, you know what, in the summer, tourists from around the world would love to go to different beaches around in different countries. But in Egypt, it's one of the very few countries that have amazing weather. So maybe if you're not going to go to the North Coast, you could go to the Red Sea or to Upper Egypt, Luxor and Aswan. How much can we sort of, I don't want to use that word, but sort of monopolize that winter season for the Egyptian tourism?
Definitely we have to start promoting a little bit more those areas like Sharm, Dahab, Nuweiba, Hurghada, even Sahl Hashish, Marsa Alam. All those areas will definitely offer, the hotels will offer very, very good rates for this time. We have to do it, I guess, we have to provide a discount from Egypt Air on the domestic flights. It could encourage, yes, if we promote this internationally, yes, it could encourage few to travel and come to Egypt. But if they feel, because Egypt is safe now from COVID, I would say we are not like other countries that I previously mentioned. So they will come here, they will feel a little bit more safe being at home. And because now they can walk in the streets, they can go to the beach, they stay at the hotel, and especially we have the capacity of that is 50%. So they will feel more safe. If they don't fear of traveling with the COVID, then definitely we do expect to receive more clients during winter. Numbers could increase, but definitely not before COVID.
Yes. Well, up until the whole COVID episode would actually slow down or maybe fade out, hopefully, shouldn't we be focusing, as this initiative has mentioned, really focusing on the domestic tourist? What can be done to encourage the Egyptians, all the Egyptians of all different classes and all social classes and brackets, to actually travel and explore different places and different governorates in Egypt?
Honestly, they travel. They do travel domestically. They go to Gona, they go to Hurghada. A lot of people went to Hurghada during Christmas, New Year, and Gona and Sharm el-Sheikh. Also, they went to the hotels. Hotels were not empty during the New Year with locals. They had few good number of locals. Definitely, again, with the 50% capacity. You can encourage this. We don't have now, everybody is on vacation, no schools, nothing. People are going to some resorts, but individually. If we organize special groups with special dates, with special rates, definitely they will encourage, we will encourage them to travel more to domestically. We have everything. They have the hotels, they have the playground, they have the games, they have the beach, they have the snorkeling, they have the activities by the beach. We are ready as a destination. The issue again is the virus itself. We are in Egypt. Some people, they don't feel as safe as some others. Some people, they are really taking care. They don't go out of their houses. They don't go out unless they have to get something or to do something very important. Others are in the street taking all the consideration, putting the mask, having alcohol in their hands. We go to the office with our alcohol, our mask and everything. And so far, thank God, we are still safe because we are taking our measurements. But yes, traveling to resorts, they will do, but definitely slowly. They will not come and say, we are going a lot of people and it's not like booming. No, we would be like few numbers in this hotel, few numbers in that hotel, until they feel more safe about the COVID worldwide. We will definitely be more traveling.
Yes. You've mentioned different tools that we can actually use, the travel agencies and companies, or even the ministries itself, which is the social media, the marketing, the promotion of Egypt as a destination. We've been seeing that for a few years now. Started off with the hashtag of This is Egypt and many different sort of marketing campaigns. Do you feel that these campaigns are enough to actually establish Egypt and attract the tourists from around the world to come to Egypt? If not, then what more could we do? Is there a different strategy than just promoting it on social media, using the hashtags, making the videos? Should we work on having different offices all around the world in different countries? Is it about going to exhibitions, touristic exhibitions around the world? How would you formulate a marketing and a promotional mechanism for Egypt to be on top of the touristic destinations?
Honestly, it's not only the role of the Ministry of Tourism or Ministry of Antiquities. They do their job. They discover things. They build new museums. They make the traffic better. They arrange for all this, and they plan for a touristic destination. Egypt is always a touristic destination, but when you feel like when the foreigner comes to Egypt, you see what's different, the driving is different, people, how they are crossing the roads, he feels not really safe, not safe, but he doesn't feel relaxed when he's on a bus or on a car, on any transportation. Now things are changing. We notice that traffic is becoming easier. Nobody will stay a long time on the road like before. This is promoted well by the ministry. It was published everywhere on their social media. We as travel agents, when we know this information, we take it. We post it on our pages, and definitely we know they know the clients, of course, but we know also our clients. Every company has a lot of list of clients. So when we send this to our all social media, they are aware of what's happening. This is enough to encourage the people to come back. What I expect maybe from the ministry or something to be done, maybe like a tourism day in Egypt. This could be like a festival on the roads everywhere for the tourism itself. We don't have this so far. This could be an idea that will bring the eye more seriously on the destination during that day, and during that day we can use our cameras shooting here and there live from all the destination, and to have a tourist day in Egypt.
Mr. Ali, a lot of people are also looking at the sports events as a tool for tourism promotion. We've seen a few years ago hosting the African Cup of Nations for football. Now we're witnessing the handball World Championship being held here in Egypt. How effective are the sporting events being used as tools to promote tourism in Egypt?
It definitely helps a lot, but what's happening those days with the Handball World Championship, it gives an idea how Egypt is controlling the COVID virus, how Egypt is doing its precautions, even by the players when they put their picture at the pyramids or on the, they went to a lot of areas, at the touristic areas, they went visited Saqqara, Memphis. This will show them their friends, their families, all the people in their countries, and this is not one country, it's how many countries playing in the tournament, a lot. So if every team is posting this on his own social media, he did what we cannot do for years. So this is one of the things that it shows the world. We are in Egypt, guys. We are enjoying the pyramids. Come on, come with us.
Yes.
So this is very important.
What about the sort of the business tourism or the conference tourism, when you actually make deals with different companies and different multinationals, for instance, to hold their summits here, to hold their conferences here? Does that need a different sort of strategy? Does that need a different sort of planning? Because you're not just you're not targeting the working man, the man on the street who would just be a sort of a freelance tourist, but now you're talking about different institutions, different business entities. Does that need a different kind of approach?
Look, actually now most of those entities and corporate companies, when they do conference or those type of congresses, they go virtually. They go virtually due to the COVID-19. But before COVID, and I'm sure before COVID we had only 1 or 2 convention centers. After COVID we have we have built maybe 3 or 4 new convention centers between Cairo, in Aswan they renovated one, in Luxor they are renovating another one. We have 2 or 3 new now in Cairo. And people know this, we know this, we post this on our social media, and now they know that we are coming. When we come back to Egypt, we can do our conference. We don't have only one conference center, now we have 3 or 4 now. So we can distribute ourselves between Sharm, between Hurghada, between Luxor, Aswan. So the conference will be for leisure and for business in the same time. Nowadays, definitely they will not be able to travel for conferences worldwide, not only in Egypt, but they go virtually, because it's the best way now to do those type of conferences, and exhibitions are virtually, by the way. You can visit the exhibition virtually and have a discussion and see all the catalogs and everything. But this will stop as soon as COVID stops, because people will not stop traveling. People will always travel, especially to Egypt, for our civilization.
Yes. Well, as you've mentioned, people need and won't stop traveling. Same as they won't stop, for instance, eating or whatever, because it's something that virtual reality will never really never be as good. But up until that happens, because nobody actually knows when this could happen, we're in a second wave, maybe in a few months there will be a 3rd wave or a 4th wave, and I know it's a pessimistic view, but let's imagine the worst case scenario. Are we sort of working on having a virtual reality, instead of just visiting a museum, having a full experience, a touristic day or a touristic tour of different museums, of different places, of different places worth seeing, the Siwa Oasis, for instance, all of these things? Are we working on creating a virtual sort of reality kind of tourism?
Okay, I will not tell you what the individual travel agencies are doing for this. Everybody has his own people. They go and take shooting and virtual 360 degrees picture. But if you visit with me after the program, just visit the website of the Ministry of Antiquities Department and visit Tour to Egypt. It's one of the most websites that they did it from the ministry. Every monument in Egypt is 360 degrees. The museum, the pyramids, Luxor Temple, Karnak Temple, in Siwa, the Oasis, every single location that a tourist would like to see in Egypt has been transferred to 360 degrees on the website of the ministry.
Yes.
So,
well, okay, so we obviously have a lot of efforts being done by the government and the ministry and the different travel companies and agencies. What would you say are the main challenges for the tourism sector nowadays, apart from getting over the COVID episode? What would you say are the main challenges or the main obstacles or problems that we need to overcome, that we need to fix?
Us. I think that we need more education for the people in Egypt, in the streets, the people going all day around the pyramids area, how to let people really understand that we are a travel destination. We are a country that we should keep on clean. We don't have to throw things in the streets. We have to cross the road when it's red, it's green light. When it's red, we have to stop. Some people, they don't follow. And this is something that will not show that to the world that we are educated well. No, we need to show that we are very well educated. The government is doing a great job. But they are not going to teach everyone what to do. But I believe that education should come from school, from universities itself, and they should start pushing on the young generations to understand what does it mean to travel for Egypt, why people are coming to Egypt. They don't know that we are studying maybe 30% of our civilization, and they are studying more in Europe and in the US of our civilization. So this is why they want to come and visit. We are living in Egypt, maybe I don't want to say maybe 40% of Egyptians didn't see the pyramids. This is for me, it's a big question mark. If they really understand the civilization and Egyptian history, they will understand that we will have to see all those things and how to maintain our country for the tourists when they come.
Yes. Well, having this tourism culture embedded within our kids and our generations, for generations to come, how long do you think that will take? Because we need to get back on our feet as soon as possible.
Look, if it happens or it doesn't happen, we will receive clients and tourists. But the issue is that if we don't start, it will never change. It can take 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, I don't mind. But people feel that we are changing. You cannot go in today and say, don't throw papers on the street. 1% will hear you and the rest will not. But it will take time. When I see you not doing it, the rest will not do it. It will have to take time. We cannot do we are not magicians. We will not do something like magic. No, it takes time. But we have to start. We have to start. We have to think that how we should spread this in schools, how to take when schools will come back. We have to take the students to the pyramids, and not only to go to the pyramids just to play soccer or to run after each other. No, they really have to understand. And when they come back to school, we have to make them a quiz for what they saw, what they heard, everything, because it has to be keep on mind. Like this, we will teach them our civilization. Without this, people will not even think about going to the Egyptian Museum or the Gem or the pyramids. This is how we have to educate them properly and give them how Egypt is precious for all the world. You have to feel this since your teenage.
Yes. Well, you've been in the business for over 30 years now. What about the caliber of the people already working in the business? Do you feel that there needs to be some sort of more advanced, or for instance, training for people working in the sector, starting from drivers, driving the transportation, dealing with foreign tourists, to tour guides, to different people dealing with tourists, because the tourism is essentially a service industry. Do you feel that maybe there needs to be training for the personnel to really upgrade the cadres and the level of people running the business?
I would say that if an entity stops training, it's a failure. Every entity, every hotels give. Usually we hear about no, those people are on a training. This company is traveling for a training. Training is a must. The training is a must not only to educate, but to keep us up to date. What's new? If you don't take training, 10 years ago, if I didn't went and took a training related to the websites and how to have a website, I would never had a website. Now we give training to the social media, how to be professional on the social media. Not only to post, we have to post and accept what is the feedback and check the feedback, how to increase it, how to change the mind of the people in a different way, to show them the good things and to show them that, yes, it was like this before and this is what is now. They have to see the difference, the achievement of what they've done. Training is ABC for the travel business. Language is ABC for the travel business. You cannot talk to a German client. If you speak German, he has to understand you, and You have to understand each other. If I don't speak a good German, it will be a failure. So training in everything, not only in the travel business, in the language also, the language for tourism itself. You can speak German, you can speak French, you can speak Italian, but you have to understand that you have to speak the same way they do speak for them to understand you and for you to understand them. A lot of people, not only the language, we have to the guiding, of course, they mostly are from the university, graduated, they have a very, very good knowledge, their language is perfect. Yes, we have some that are still need some training, which is happening now. The drivers, I believe that even 2 or 3 years ago, we did a very big, huge training for all the drivers, tourism plate drivers for the tourists. They had a big training, and I'm sure that it was by the ETA they did this project.
And what would you say the final thing for Egypt to become or like on the same level with the rest of the top international tourism sector around the world? And I'm sure you've been exposed to quite a few. What would you say we actually need to work on that just to become on that sort of world-class level?
We are on the world-class level, actually. Honestly, if you go to anywhere in the world, what is the civilization you're going to see? What is the history that you're going to see? If you go, we have the oldest history, the oldest civilization. This is, of course, enough, but we will not stop here. That's what the government is doing now. We are doing the museums, we are doing the renovation of the pyramids. The only thing I would like to say is education.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as you've heard Mr. Ali, there is a lot of work being done by the Egyptian government, a lot of work done by the Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities, the Civil Aviation, obviously the tourism agencies, the tourism companies. But we still need to work on ourselves first. We need to embed or really nurture a tourism culture, really having that sort of proper tourism civilization, and the work never ends. It's an ongoing process. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this edition of the Daily Debate. But before we go, I'd like to thank my very distinguished guest, Mr. Karim Ali, the travel and tourism expert. Mr. Ali, it was a pleasure having you with us.
Thank you so much, my pleasure.
Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, please stay tuned for more coming up on our International. I'm Hani Saif. Thank you for joining us.